Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So, guys, we got a lot to talk about with the weather. Sure has been crazy.
Yeah, I hope everybody's okay out there.
We see officials estimate 100 homes hit by tornado in Orange County, and this is down in Texas in the greater Houston area. And, there's been tornado watches up all over through the mid-south, I guess that's what you would call Texas, Louisiana, and the lake. And, this weather has been pretty crazy. We ourselves didn't get much. We're thankful of that. But, boy, they got some intense weather up in the northeast. So the first nor'easter of the season hits the northeast, leaving more than 587,000 customers without power. As we see this storm, parts of New Jersey received up to 5 inches of rain. Central Park in New York City received 2.7 inches of rain. And then over on Long Island, 2.6 inches as well. You had strong winds that left more than 29,000 people without power in Massachusetts. And that just basically increased. Same thing with Connecticut, got hit pretty hard. There's a lot of records that fell. There's videos here for you guys to check out too, as far as what's going on. And be aware too that you're going to get saturated again with basically a storm that's going right now from the mid-south area over towards the east, and that's going to add up to an even bigger mess. We see here from AccuWeather, absolute nightmare after 40+ inches of snowfall. And talk about the extremes. The extremes are just incredibly extreme. Mount Rose, Nevada, 42 inches. North Star, California, 36. Soda Springs, 29. Donner Pass, 29. Serene Lakes, 28. And boy, it does look like the holidays are approaching.
It sure does. I mean, that's kind of like that dreary, Christmassy. Well, dreary and Christmassy doesn't really go together, sorry. But it is pretty dreary and snowy.
Yeah, it depends on the lens in which you're looking out at it.
True.
As a kid, boy, there's nothing better. You get to stay home.
Yeah, you do.
Usually. Storm shatters rainfall records in Southern California. Who got the most? And, it's great to see the West get some serious rainfall. And, this system is just really the beginning with what we would need, basically, to alleviate that drought. That drought is just so severe. But we do have a La Nina building, so things are very, very changeable, and then we add to the mix all the technology that's out there as well. Beverly Hills got 1.12 inches. Bel Air got an inch of very needed rain. East Pasadena and nearby La Cañada, Flint Ridge, both receiving 1.32 inches. And we look over here, and this is from the Des Moines Register. Sunday's rain total broke a 113-year-old record. More rain is forecast. It's just extremes. That's all we have is just the constant absolute lack or way too much. We were looking at the storms that were over in Spain, and it was just brutal. And same thing with Italy there as well, as they get those storms called Medicanes. Mediterranean hurricanes, which can produce a lot of intense weather. And talking about intense, the La Palma situation just seems to keep escalating. And here we see La Palma eruption update. Enormous pressure is building up under the volcano as the ground inflates 17 centimeters in 24 hours. Possible violent explosion in the next few days.
Yeah, that's really, really bothersome. Very bothersome.
So we were asking the guides about this, and they say that basically the powers that be have turned the notch up, so to speak, on the dial.
They have, and they want a disruption. You know, it's strange. I don't understand this information. Maybe you guys will get more out of it. But they told me that they're not, at this time, they're not shooting for anything like a giant tsunami. Not right now. Not right now. Right now, they want to create a lot of inconvenience. So that's what I'm being told.
Everybody's been thinking too about all those ships, container ships, everywhere, just everywhere, and the disruptions that we could have with some of this volcanic activity, earthquakes, other things going on. As we know, it's everything happening at once. And people are waking up and definitely saying that they recognize that times are not usual. At least more people are waking up every day. Yesterday evening, the northwestern flank of the cone collapsed after the volcano had its strongest daytime activity since the beginning of the eruption. Large amounts of lava flowed out. And, you know, it's interesting too because the Simpsons had an episode in which they basically, I think they were showing nuclear reactors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bart and Homer go and release a canary, and they tell the canary to go fly to the Canary Islands. And the canary goes off and then comes right back, goes to a globe, spins the globe, looks at where the Canary Islands are, and then flies off to the Canary Islands. So, you know, the picture is of like nuclear reactors and then a canary being released, and it goes to the Canary Islands. Now, people noted that the shape of La Palma was as if the southwestern flank had collapsed and was no longer there. So people picked that up, and they were, you know, wondering if, again, this is more Simpsons foreshadowing. Because, you know, the Simpsons called that number 45 was going to be president, and, you know, he was, you know, many, many years before it actually happened. And actually, there's been so many things with the Simpsons, you got to wonder, you know, what's going on there? Do they have a direct line to the group that starts with an I and ends with an I? And it's like the bat phone, you know, the red phone goes off. Okay, you're gonna have to do an episode in which you show that the southwestern flank of La Palma is gone, and we just have to do this for karmic reasons. Okay, boss.
Well, because their world is so different than the world we've been led to understand. You know, they've taught us to understand things in a certain way, but the controllers, they understand things at a far different level, you know, that lets them get away with a lot of things.
That's why there's so much that they try to throw us off with. They know some people are going to wake up to one thing. Some people are going to wake up to another thing. And then there's others that might wake up to 2 or 3 things. If they could continually put up traps to lead you on a red herring chase, you know, going down a path that will lead to endless circles and not really understanding the bigger picture. That's what they're going to do. And they have so many traps set up for that. And, you know, just when you think you got it figured out, all of a sudden, you realize, oops, that was the wrong path. Got to backtrack now. But this is all part of their plan. And again, they have to lay it all out there for us, for those that are awake, for those that can decipher these things and see. And if we were all basically activated again with open chakras, full kundalini, pineal glands, wide awake and open, and we actually got from the guides that Cindy's pineal gland is twice the size of a typical pineal gland. And, you know, hence she's basically a walking antenna, constantly getting signals. This is why she can, see things and see people. Like they are literally lined up around the block. And when I say they, I mean people that are no longer in the body, waiting for a chance, you know, to come through, because they realize, hey, this one can hear me, this one can see me. And so, it's just like the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg. It very, very much is. So, Cindy can basically contact, loved ones that passed and things like that. And so while I'm on that topic, I wanted to share with you guys thanks. Thanks for everybody sending your prayers and healing energies for Cheryl, because, it looked very scary. You might even say it didn't look good, but she made it through and she seems to be doing pretty well.
Yes, Cheryl, and we did some other prayers for people, and these people are doing very well. So we're super excited about that. It's wonderful. And I even got a report from someone today that we had a session with a couple months back that needed some healing work. And by the time she got back to her medical doctor, the healing had actually healed over a stitch. It healed so fast.
Yeah, before they even got a
crazy.
chance to take the stitch out, it had
Yes.
healed. So. But this is par for the course, and it would be amazing what we could do. We would not need the BIGFARMA, to misspell it, at all. That industry would there'd be no need for it if we had everybody evolving the way that they were supposed to evolve, as Source, God with the big G, had planned. Without this dark interference, there would be no need of certain industries at all. Not at all. And, that's exactly why we see everything going on right now, that mad scramble. Because their whole ruse, their whole illusion is still crumbling. But if they weren't able to act the way they have been acting and getting people to do things on a voluntary basis, that's going to slow their ascension. It would be over. It'd be long over right now already. And so we see they actually have a politician proposing to bomb La Palma as eruptions enter the 38th day. So they raised the idea of dropping bombs on it to divert lava flow, which actually has been done before on both Mauna Loa in Hawaii and also on Mount Etna, believe it or not. Interesting thoughts there.
Some kind of weird, surgery to do to our poor planet Earth to, I don't think it's going to make her well.
And then we got a sudden eruption over at Krakatau in Indonesia. It's there. A lot of them are going off now, and all this should cool off the planet when you have all this accumulation going. Of course, something like a VEI 7 would really speed that, especially along the equator. So this ash cloud was about 2,100 feet above sea level, and that is not high compared to some of the ones we have seen. Asteroid 2021 UA1 flew past Earth at just 0.02 lunar distance. And when we're talking, when you see these sensationalistic ones in the Star and other places talking about, asteroids incoming, and they're talking like it's only going to be an astronomical unit away. That's like 65 million miles. That's like so far away that, astronomical unit is from the Earth to the Sun. That's way far away. Now, lunar distance, that's not that far away. And when you're talking 0.2 of a lunar distance, that's pretty close. So this was one of the closest pass-bys we've had. And thankfully, though, it's not big. So again, 4 to maybe 9 feet in diameter. It'd just be another beautiful fireball.
Yeah.
It wouldn't end anything, thankfully. And massive floods hit Catania, as we were talking about, after an entire year worth of rain in just 2 days in Italy. 2 days, an entire year's worth of rain. And again, what else is it going to do? Well, it's certainly going to inhibit any sort of, crops and food, as well as, destroy cars, houses, businesses. It's all adding up into the supply chain chaos that we see. And I had to do some errands today and made another run to the store, which, purposely we have like spent more this month than we would probably spend in 6 months to a year in the grocery stores, and also, you know, shipping things in. Because again, it's go time, guys. It's absolutely go time. Go, 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 go as best as you can. You know, and if you're on a limited budget and all, think about how to spread your money and get the most bang for your buck nutritionally as well. Yeah, and you know, as we were sharing before, there's a lot of friends and a lot of people that we come in contact with all the time, and just even in the store when I watch what people are discretionary spending, and you know, say that they're grabbing a bunch of frozen pizzas and stuff that are the fancier ones that might cost like $10 or so. You know, when you buy your own flour and you make your own tomato sauce, you can make a better pizza than those frozen ones that's healthier. You could do it with, you know, healthier items. Like we have some spelt flour, you could get amaranth flour, you could get all these different flours. There's everything you could think of out there to lower your reaction to any sort of things that are going to give you an immune system response, you know. So, you know, those that have to avoid gluten, those that have to avoid dairy, whatever it is, you know, it's, you could do it so much healthier and probably better. As Cindy's always saying that my cooking's better than when we go to the restaurants.
It's delicious. We should maybe in this lifetime open a restaurant.
Well, yeah, we seriously would. I would like to do that. You know, when we get out of the dark system and we're coming back to a balance and a harmony in this world, I would love to do something like that.
Well, I think the best we can do right now is maybe make your own spaghetti sauce because, oh, it's so good. It's so good, you guys. We got to share that somehow.
Oh, we could definitely. We'll do some more videos. But, you know, you think about it, I was like saying to Cindy how far your money can go. I mean, because we buy, we have big 25-pound bags of organic flours and alternative flours too, not just, you know, lily white wheat flour. Um, Alternative ones. And same thing. I just brought in a whole bunch of steel cut oats because steel cut oats are healthier overall. And we put them in the rice cooker, and they come out perfect every time. And you know, they're so filling and nutritious and inexpensive again. You know, when you buy in bulk like that, and just make sure you store it well so no insects could get in there, no mice and things like that could get in there, your money will go so far. I mean, you literally can get 10 meals for what you're going to spend, you know, just calling in a pizza with wings, you know, and a 2-liter.
Right.
You know, for one, ditch the 2-liter. That weakens your immune system, gives you an inflammatory response as well. Just wanted to share. We're going to go into that in more depth too. We know there's a lot of channels out there. There's, gosh, Canadian prepper, there's, I think, Alaskan prepper, there's so-and-so preppers from all over the place that give, you know, pretty good information. This is what these people do. Their entire channels are devoted to it. But we'll do more sharing with you guys, like some of the items that we stock up on and, you know, that we found that we like and, you know, feel is a decent value. As we see this energy crush and crunch, it's crushing most of us out there. You know, it's actually going to perhaps be an absolute windfall for Russia. And as we've been saying, the power is shifting to, you know, the fine dining ware country, but they are allied with Russia. Now, that might not last too long, but I feel that it will last until the power structure is completely changed, with the U.S. and the NATO countries no longer in a position of dominance. We could see that changing quite obviously already. So there could come a time when Russia and China do square off a little bit more, but right now they are most definitely working together very, very well. And I also had somebody that I knew was part of that group that starts with an I, ends with an I, that was constantly saying, misinformation. When I knew, every vision I've ever had is Russia, China, and others that are going to be allied against, that what we would call the Western powers that have been. But of course, it's all these different countries are, basically tools which the real power brokers use. So again, it's like playing chess, and you're playing both sides of the board. But yeah, Russia could definitely see a huge windfall. And that's what this is talking about. Russia is poised to benefit both financially and strategically. Home to some of the world's largest reserves of gas and coal, and fossil fuels make up the lion's share of its export revenue. And with the global economy recovering at a historic rate and demand for energy shooting up, benchmark prices for natural gas hit all-time highs in Asia and Europe in October. Coal prices are 4 times what they were a year ago. 4 times. That's pretty big profits coming in. Now recognize too that, if it was a situation where the world was at peace, we would be getting free energy, and it's out there. But, this perfect storm creates perfect windfalls for certain countries and certain businesses. And there you go. And many people are picking up on this. Joe Rogan is. Go ask Joe. Joe Rogan, he knows. He's been bringing up a lot of interesting points. And here you see top U.S. general, fine dining ware missile test, very close to a Sputnik moment. What he's referring to is like when the Russians put Sputnik into space, apparently they were ahead of us. And that surprised everybody. And so here we have China and Russia with their hypersonic weapons apparently surprising everybody. Not necessarily everybody, but out there at large. Again, this is the greater public, if they are starting to pay attention. And China says Taiwan has no right to join the UN after U.S. nod. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken had previously called for Taiwan's meaningful participation at the organization, but China is vetoing that. And we had talked yesterday about the fact that you have Xi Jinping, the president for life, saying we got to do more as far as creating more weapons and more powerful ones. Obviously, the dragon has awakened.
Mm-hmm. Oh, most definitely. And that thing has a lot of targets in its sight, too.
And, the bottom line is the dragon's awakened because the keeper of the dragon with the leash and the chain decided it's time.
Uh-huh.
And again, he who has control of the money controls everything. They don't care what puppets are on any throne because they are just puppets. So business groups are asking the White House to delay those dates for men until after the holidays, because it's just been brutal for everybody involved. But will they? Well, I doubt it. They might not. We could keep pushing. This is the thing. Everybody could keep pushing. Everybody could keep speaking up.
Well, this is where I get really frustrated, and people say, oh, don't worry, so-and-so is in charge. Everything is going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. Obviously not. That just frustrates me so much sometimes. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to be in this for us. Nobody's going to step in and help us, especially when we're talking about the agenda.
Yeah, exactly. The recommendations from YT, the premier place for videos on the planet still. The recommendation part, when I was looking at like our videos and how often they get recommended by YT, it's like almost never. So please do make sure you're subscribed and see if you've been unsubscribed, because in the past they used to be recommended quite often, but things have changed. Things have really changed. Many people recognize that. Oh, and by the way, we had another video removed because of medical misinformation that goes against the, WHO and CDC and all the official powers that be's recommendations. So, we are on Rumble, we are on Brighteon, but just be aware of things. Look closely at things, because we have, people that we talk to on a fairly regular basis that just want to cling to really what's fantasies at this point in time and misdirection. There are so many programs in place, again, to take somebody that is awakening or is awakened and get them running down a dead end. So they're going to expend all their energy, put all their hopes in like another date, whether it's a date in January, well, didn't manifest the way we thought. A date in, March, date in April. Well, it's going to be August now. Well, now it's going to be September. No, it's going to be December. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's going to be next year, and nothing happens. Or it doesn't happen the way that's expected. It's wonderful to have high hopes, have high hopes. And always hope for the best. But don't expect a white horse to come running, come over that hill and go fix everything. The white horse is going to be everybody wakening up. We have to do this ourselves. So, yes, beings like Yeshua are supporting us from higher realms. They are rooting us on. They're cheering for us. When we call out to them directly, and we ask for the help of Yeshua or the archangels or other benevolent beings like Kuan Yin, Tara, Lakshmi, Aset, Isis, Ganesha. We could go on and on with all these amazing beings. They will listen and they'll help as much as they can. But again, they're able to give guidance. If they were to go ahead and directly intervene, that would ruin the human experience. And it's hard for people to understand that they're here for a purpose, but we are here for a purpose. And those that are Starseeds Lightworkers, your purpose is to change the system. You're here to basically, you're system busters. You're here to get in and break the cogs in the system. You're here to basically tear away the curtains that are hiding who the real controllers are and expose them for who they are and expose what's going on so that, those younger souls, so to speak, that might be a little bit more naive will understand what's going on and wake up and say, hey, oh, you've been tricking us. You've been getting us to give away our sovereignty. You've been getting us to buy into your system. Well, we're no longer buying into your system. We're doing our own thing. Hasta luego.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is why we need to tell you we are on Rumble too.
Yeah. And, Rumble did acquire a company. So, I was looking closer at that because, there's rumors out there. And again, one of the rumors was Rumble was bought out by somebody. And it's going to be, here we go. The white hats are coming. There's a white hat coming from the Sunshine State, and the day is going to be saved now. But then, it wasn't that Rumble was bought out. They bought a company out. And, when I look at the people who are involved in that company, I'm going to watch it a lot closer because, you always want to make sure that things that seem to be a certain way really are a certain way. So, do due diligence wherever you can. So, onward and upward we go. And yeah, over here in New York, you see the NYPD top cop urging, again, why do you think we've seen everything that we've seen with all the disruptions to the health system, to law enforcement, to the military? A quarter of the NYPD force, 25%, may be sent home without pay. boy, that's going to embolden certain people, is it not? You know, a couple of things that we want to share real quick. We have gotten from a source that has to remain nameless. It's not our guides. It's a flesh and blood person who has access to a lot of closed door meetings, let's just say, with people very high up in the food industry. They're expecting a gallon of milk to be basically $12 come June, July. A gallon of milk is going to be about $12 come June or July this year. So think about that. And the supply chain chaos is actually, it's not being overhyped. It's actually, they're not letting on how bad it is. And it really doesn't have to be this way. Not at all. It really doesn't have to be this way, but this is what's going down right now. So again, preparations. And as you see there, you know, the number keeps going up. 1 and done, 2 and done, 3 and done, 4 and done, 5 and done. Is it every month, every week, every day?
Right.
It's starting to remind me of like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know, wake up in the morning, okay, here you go. Instead of, you know, giving you a whole bunch, maybe it will be all these little different colored things that look like M&Ms or Skittles.
It could be.
Or it could be something in a liquid form, or, you know, could be something else. Make note of that blue, guys. You know, we've been very warm. It actually has felt to me to be summer continuing, but, you know, we're forecast to have highs that are only going to be in the 60s, which I know for most of the nation, you know, that's great. But yeah, it's a wake-up call because the cold weather is coming. A lot of ski resorts are opening early, like Mammoth Mountain. Be prepared, and that's why the guides are telling us, stop procrastinating and get your greenhouse up.
Yes, they are.
They have been. They've been on us about that. But, you know, overnight temperatures have been still like 70 or in the 60s. There is a magnetic tunnel of rope-like filaments that are all around the Earth. Are we talking about the matrix itself? Well, it says, what if our eyes could see radio waves? If we could, we might be able to look up into the sky and see a tunnel of rope-like filaments made of radio waves. The structure would be about 1,000 light years long and would be about 350 light years away. This tunnel explains 2 of the brightest radio features in the sky. Astronomers discovered the North Polar Spur and the Fan region in the 60s when radio astronomy was getting going. The North Polar Spur is a massive ridge of hot gas that rises above the plane of the Milky Way and emits X-rays and radio waves. Over the decades since its discovery, there's been an ongoing discussion about what it actually is and how far away it is. Astronomers thought it could be related to Fermi bubbles or a feature carved out by an ancient supernova explosions. The Fan region is one of the more dominant polarized radio features in the sky. There's a debate about the nature of the Fan region too, with some saying it's a local feature and some arguing it's on a galactic scale. So you have researchers from Canada and US presenting evidence in a new paper showing that the pair of features are connected. Everything's connected. That's the bottom line. Even, you know, everything, when we look at how big the galaxy is and realize it's one of countless galaxies, and even our entire universe, from what we understand, is simply just a cell, a single cell in something much, much larger. And that there is this interconnectedness with everything, and that's what we're kind of missing out in the bigger picture. So whatever we do to each other or to the planet affects us.
It really does. And that's the thing that we have to understand, this oneness. You know, we have to understand what our thoughts, feelings, issues are is going to affect the energy that's close to us. And it could either, you know, harm the energy or it could make it better. So we always want to be in a state in our minds that's very positive. So anything around us, if it's not healed, it can be in a healing state.
Exactly. So again, we want to live in a symbiotic relationship with the planet and not be acting like a nasty virus or a cancer that's raging through the body. The controllers, their system is one that's very much like a raging cancer, destroying everything around it. And thankfully, we'll be leaving this system, and it's very, very close, although it still may take years and still may even, stretch out a little bit longer. But it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And, where we're heading is going to be one of understanding this unity. And, we had a question about competition. And like in the 5D perspective, they don't have a system like we have here at all. There really is no monetary system. Everything is just basically done on an energy exchange basis that is agreeable to everyone, and nobody would dream of really taking advantage of another. And if somebody's lacking, they really work together. One thing that we've seen time and time again is basically, well, it's really like angels to be in training. And in fact, that's mostly what Yeshua, that's a big portion of what Yeshua is doing now, is basically kind of training these beings that you would take to be angels, to be angels in training.
Yes, to give us better guidance, more guidance to be better beings ourselves.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that drive is there when you're in service to others. So, one of the things to keep in mind is, as we get closer to source, as we move closer to source, we'll find ourselves naturally trying to help each other more.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we'll just have that craving to want to reach out and help ease someone's pain. It's going to become more of a natural tendency, I would say.
Yes. So let us all just send our prayers and best wishes out there to everybody out there who may be suffering in any sort of way, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual. May you find peace and comfort, and may whatever it is that's plaguing you be just a faint memory in the past. And Cindy's going to grab a fork, and she's going to give us a ding to harmonize us.
Okay, here we go.
So we want to thank, as always, your support on Patreon, also on Ko-Fi, and everybody that's checked out wonderful medicinal foods. They got great products as well. Use the coupon code EEA, and it does support the channel as well as give you a discount. As always, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.